are listening to the Pathfinder Guru podcast, where we help you to become a greater leader. Join us as we take the Advent message to all the world in our generation. So, are you ready to become a guru in this ministry?
Attention! Welcome to the Pathfinder Guru podcast, and thank you very much for joining us. I hope that we are all doing well and we are safe under the shadow of God's wonderful wings. It has been a minute, and I thank the Lord for the mercy and goodness that He gives us on a day-to-day basis. Doing this podcast has been one of the most exciting journeys which I've heard in my whole entire life, because it has given me a chance to share and to teach the skills that I know and to address issues which hinder us from having a successful club. And I thank God that to those who are listening, to those who are tuning in from time to time, are really doing so and are really being inspired. I pray the good Lord bless you all and open your door of blessings so that you may be an influence in your club and your club may be an influence in the community, in that space where God has placed it to be. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the underdog, how being an underdog in the ministry, and what are things that you need to watch out for and things that you need to understand as being an underdog. Most of us in the ministry elected as directors because we loved the ministry. But now there are certain things that comes with being an underdog, having no experience in the ministry, having no knowledge that much, but having the love and the willingness to do the things that needs to be done in the ministry. And you wonder to yourself, what are things that I need to know? What are things that I need to carry out as the underdog? Today, I'm just going to highlight 3 important things that you need to understand when being an underdog. And once you understand those things, things will become much more better for you and your club and your leadership, because you will be understanding things that will happen to you, things that you need to do, and things that you have to accept, because it is a reality when being an underdog, coming into the ministry, first-time director, and you need to do the work. You need to do what has to be done. The first thing that you need to understand is that people will have a love and hate relationship with you. You are an underdog. People don't know you. Parents don't know you. The church is a bit skeptical. Sometimes some churches elect Pathfinder directors, adventurer directors at a time whereby they fall in love with the ministry and they want to kickstart the ministry inside the church. So most of the time you find out that there was no director for the past 5 years or 3 years, or it is the first time having such a ministry in the church. Understand that people will have a love and hate relationship. From time to time, they will love what you do, but also question how you do it, because you are the underdog. But something that you need to understand, once you have a certain type of people who are like that, you need to encourage them. You need to keep them updated. You need to ensure that each and everything that you do, you keep them informed. They are updated about everything that happens in the ministry, because once you do that, things become much more easier for them to let you go, to trust you and ensure that you do what you do best, because you have been chosen by God to lead the Pathfinder Club at your own local church. Whether you are an underdog, it does not matter, but because you have the willingness, you have the drive to lead young people, it is easier for you to do so, and it is easier for you to learn quickly because you love the ministry and you were chosen by Him to lead the local church. So this love and hate relationship that they will have with you is something that is going to happen, but they need to earn your trust by each and every program you have, by each and every investiture, each and every practice that you consistently have. Once you are consistent in doing that, people will be able to understand and will be able to trust you more. The leadership of the church will be more loose and understand that you got this, and they will trust your leadership because you are now the underdog that is making a move to ensure that the club is running successfully. Secondly, everything you do will be questioned. Same applies with the first one. Everything that you do will be questioned. And when things are questioned, most of the time we tend to lose focus. But once you have been questioned about everything, ensure that you give answers. Ensure that you are professional enough to answer them and give feedbacks. Because sometimes questions which are asked to you is questions that sometimes as leaders we fail to answer in whatever that we are doing. But when everything that you do is being questioned, you need to stay focused, answer the question, and stick and follow through. Most of the time, I've really noticed when you are having everything being questioned, what you need to ask yourself is which you have been asked for, or things which they are asking you, are they good questions with a good motive at hand, or it is questions that you failed to answer because you are leaving gaps in between? So that is up to you, that if you having a lot of questions from parents, from the leadership of the church, is it because they are asking questions as follow-up questions, as build-up questions, or they're asking questions because you as a leader have opened up too much gaps? So once you are efficient in ensuring everything is okay, in answering questions and telling people on time, so that should anything come along the way, they just ask questions because they want to have a proper way forward and not because they want to close the gaps before they answer the real question of having a way forward. That is upon you as the underdog in the ministry to ensure that you are quick, you are sharp in doing that, because once you do that, each and everything goes well. Thirdly, being able to stand your ground. As the underdog, sometimes you feel like what you're doing is not right. You question yourself and things that you do. Sometimes you don't know whether what you're doing is right or not. But once you stand your ground, things become much more easier. Now, what you need to understand about leadership is about standing your ground, whether some certain things may not have the light at the end of the tunnel. It is upon you to ensure the people to feel the heat. Once people feel the heat, they know that light is coming at the end of the tunnel. So that is primarily up to you to stand your ground, because you will plan things. People will try to move things around, others to suit their personal things. But once you stand your ground as the underdog, understanding the vision that you have for the club and where you want to take the club, there are certain times where you need to stand your ground because you see something that parents don't see, that the leadership of the church does not see. And once they see that you are able to stand your ground respectfully, so I'm not talking about standing your ground in a disrespectful way, but standing your ground with respect and with honor, and in believing that where you want to take the club, you will be able to take the club there with God helping you. They will respect you more because you are able to stand your ground. You are able to follow through, whether the challenge is difficult, whether it's raising money. You are able to say, we will raise this money. We will get children uniform. We will get children going to the camporee. We will get children go to the fair. You are standing your ground. And once you stand your ground, follow through and do the things that needs to be done. I promise you, you will no longer be the underdog, because you are showing the leadership mentality, the leadership style which is needed in the ministry. Do not doubt yourself as the underdog. Ensure that you follow through and you understand this 3-step process of starting your journey as the underdog so that you can be one of the greater leaders in the ministry. And once you do that, once you stand your ground, things will become okay. But understand one thing, standing your ground, ensuring that there are no questions, understanding that there is a love and hate, you will go through those things. But once you follow through and you stay strong, I promise you, you will be a great leader. Stay strong, my fellow underdogs, because when all is said and done, all honor and glory will go to Him who is able from keeping us from falling. But for now, you are dismissed.